Okay, hello and welcome. So in this video, I'm going to go through the assessment revision for this module, the Relationships 1.5 module. Just so you know, when you are submitting your answers to me, if you're using the notebook where I've saved this, you can just use insert. If you press this button, it'll let you, insert either a file or an attachment. So, for example, if you put a picture of the work that you've completed, you can just photograph it and insert it using this. You can even just click pictures here as well. Okay, so you can use that when you're submitting your assignment. The other thing is you can either use this notes, this OneNote thing here, or if you'd prefer just to download a PDF, you can just click this button over here to download the PDF. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's just go through the actual revision. So what I'll do is I'm going to do all these reminder questions, and then what I want you to submit are going to be the you try questions. Okay, and then I want you to have a go at the practice test at the bottom. So the first one is sketch the graph of y equals 4 sine x. So you might recall that the number in front of the sine x is the amplitude. And so the amplitude here is 4. So if we just do a quick sketch of a sine graph looks like this. So one period would be 360 degrees. So this would be 180 here where it crosses the x-axis. And because the amplitude's 4, instead of it starting at 0 and going up to 1, it's going to go up to 4 and down to -4. Okay? If you ever got asked what this point here was, this point would be the point 94. Okay, so we call that 90 is this point here. Okay, and we've got 270 there as well for the minimum point. Okay, so that's using the amplitude. So you should be able to have a go at this as well. Okay, next reminder question, write down the period for the graph y equals cos 3x. So remember that the number in front of the x would be the frequency. Okay, so if we just draw the standard cos graph, which starts here at 1, and it's this sort of bucket shape. Okay, so it starts at 1, it goes to -1, this would be 90, this would be 180, this would be 270, and then it would be back to the top at 360. That's the standard cos graph. So this is y equals cos x. What y equals cos 3x means is this bucket shape repeats 3 times every 360 degrees. So the frequency is 3, so that's how many times it's going to repeat itself. So if I was to actually sketch the graph, notice that this is just write down the period, so you're not actually asked to sketch this. What's going to happen is it's going to go down, back up, down, back up, down, back up. Okay? And it's going to do that. It's going to look like this. Between 0 and 360, it's going to go down, up, down, up, down, up. So the question is, one period, how far is this? How far is just one of the bucket shapes, essentially? And that's just a case of doing 360 degrees, and we're just going to divide that by 3. Okay? We're dividing it by 3 because it's repeated 3 times because the frequency is 3. So 360 divided by 3 is 120 degrees. So the period is 120 degrees. Okay. I'm just going to clean that up because that looks like a 6. Okay, 120 degrees. Okay, so again, there's a couple of you try questions here, and these are going to work in a very similar way. This question is solve the equation 4 sine x minus 1 equals 0 for x is between these values. Although I'm actually looking at this, and this question is very poorly written. This should say, okay, what it means is for the values of x between 0 and 360. So we want to solve this equation. So let's just add 1 to both sides to start us off. get 4 sine x equals 1. So sine x must equal a quarter. Again, what I've done is I've divided by 4. And then I can use my inverse sine function on my calculator. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell me that x is equal to, and again, I'm just going to shift sine a quarter. Okay, it's not specified the number of decimal places, so we'll just do it to 3 significant figures, so which is going to be 14.5. So that's one of our answers. And again, if we just think about the sine graph, okay, so x is 14.5, is going to be around here. So where else is x about 14.5? Well, if we remember that it's symmetrical down this line of symmetry at 90, what we can do is we can work out this distance. This distance is 90 minus 14.5, okay, which is 75.5. Oh, let's go there, right, 75.5. So if we just add 75.5 onto our 90, that's going to give us this next point, our other answer. So our other answer is going to be x is 90 plus 75.5. And again, that's going to give us our answer of 165. Sorry, 166 when I round it to 1 decimal place. Okay, so again, I've done a whole video where I go through lots of these examples. So the point of this video is just to recap it and get it refreshed in your memory. But remember the process. We solve the equation as we always would do. Then we use our inverse sine function to find out what x is. And then we can find out the other value of x just by sketching a quick graph and working out, okay, we're going to have to use the symmetry here of the 90. And again, you've got one to have a go at yourself. Okay, so that's all the practice questions done. There's just 3 there to do. And again, you'll notice that when you get to the practice test, there's just 3 questions and they're in this form. Okay, so have a go, have a practice, and see what you can do.